Ollie here, and welcome to my second installment of Olly Talks. This one is about Doctor Who and my thoughts on the first half of series 12. And I kind of want to talk about the crazy plot twist that happened during the Fugitive of the Judoon and possible plot theories on what happened. So my thoughts on series 12. I need to get used to this. My thoughts on series 12 so far. It's definitely better than series 11, and the episodes are a lot more engaging and it's starting to feel like Doctor Who again. More references to the older episodes, especially some of the classic stories, especially the tissue compression eliminator that the Master used in the classics and he used in Spyfall. So let's get started on the reflections of the episode so far. So, Spyfall Parts 1 and 2. I thought it was a brilliant story, and definitely it was the best opener since series 5. Jodie Whittaker, I think this is probably her best performance here so far, and I love the reveal of Sacha Dhawan's character being not being O, but he was actually the Master, and he definitely had that madness that the Master had on him, especially John Sims' Master, and the way he's revealed, it was absolutely epic. I was like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, what's going on? I mean, I must say, Sacha Dhawan is a phenomenal actor. I mean, I think they made the right choice casting him as the Master. I mean, I think he's probably I might be going a bit too far with this, but I think he's definitely the best New Who Master so far. I think better than John Sim, better than Michelle Gomez, but I think he is definitely the best New Who Master. I mean, he definitely had that madness that the Master had, and I even commented on his Instagram page and he liked it, so I was kind of starstruck because no one famous has ever liked my photo and comment on Instagram. So so aside from that, I mean, Spyfall itself was a cheesy James Bond parody, especially in the first one with the whole gadgets and the casino, and the part where the Doctor thought she was playing Snap was was funny. That's definitely Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. I mean, she's the scatterbrained woman. I mean, I really like that part, and I liked how Yaz, Graham, and Ryan were separated with the Doctor from part 2, especially in the second part of Spyfall, and they didn't really get together until at least just the last few minutes where the Kazavian captured the Master. So the Kazavian, I think they're okay villains. I'm kind of wonder if that actually is them or it's just the disguise from like the Cybermen we saw in the Army of Ghosts. They had this like disguise on them, and then once you took the disguise off, it revealed it to them as Cybermen. I think there's something underneath that, and I hope the Kazavian do come back and we do get a bit of an explanation of what happened. So Graham, Riaz, and Ryan, they definitely got the character development they needed. I mean, they were wondering, they never really asked the Doctor anything whatsoever, and they kind of realized that, I mean, they've just been traveling with the Doctor for fun, and they haven't really been asking anything. For all they know, she could have been a murderer or something, and it's a good thing they asked questions at the end of the story, and the Doctor, finally, Jodie was explaining who she is and where she's coming from. That's something I kind of expected to see from series 11, but we never got to see that. I think the Chibnall was trying to like ease new viewers into Doctor Who because most of them probably have never heard of Doctor Who and they want to see what the show is like and what the female Doctor will be like as well. So I think that was one of the reasons why season 11 wasn't so fantastic compared to this season so far. And Gallifrey being destroyed, I do have I'm a bit mixed on this. I mean, yeah, it's good. It gives the Doctor good character development, but at the same time, it kind of undoes what Stephen Moffat, even though I'm not his biggest fan, or what he did in the Day of the Doctor. Even though I adore Day of the Doctor, but I wasn't really too sold on him bringing back Gallifrey, especially what Russell T Davies did when he was the showrunner, and how he developed the 9th and 10th Doctors, and to some extent the 11th Doctor when Moffat took over. But yeah, but destroying everything that's done, even though the Doctor, after the Day of the Doctor, had pretty much gotten over his guilt from Gallifrey and is just moving on, even though aside from that stuff that happened with Clara and Hellbent, I think that allowed the Doctor to like move on and get over his grief. But now that Gallifrey is destroyed, yeah, as I mentioned before, it's going to give 13 some good character development, but at the same time, destroying Gallifrey again like bloody hell, can't you think of something else, Chibnall? But yeah, and it does kind of undo what Moffat did, but yeah. So, Orphan 55, I was pretty torn about this episode. I mean, I thought it was going to be a campy holiday story that Doctor Who would usually do, even though the beginning kind of was like a campy holiday episode-ish, but it was for the first few minutes, and that's when like the main plot kicked in. But Jodie Whittaker's acting in this episode was brilliant. I think performance-wise, this is probably her best, but the writing was a bit naff. I mean, and then the Doctor's climate change speech at the end of the story was a bit. It was a bit cringe. I'm not gonna. Yes, I'm aware of like the climate change that's happening in the environment, but I don't think it should have been done in a subtle way, like what Doctor Who usually does and what they've been doing ever since the classics. Even I don't think that would have been rather necessary. I mean, people that usually want to watch Doctor Who to get away from like the real world and stuff, but I don't think it was a good idea to include like a major climate change topic, even though it was revealed. Yes, the plot twist of the Orphan 55 planet actually being Earth was alright, but they should have left it at that. I mean, briefly explain what was going on, defeat the dregs, and escape from the planet. I think that would have been more suitable. But then the action of the story was quite weak as well. I mean, the whole situation with Bella, I think that's her name, and the other one whose name I've forgotten, with her being her mother, it was like EastEnders with the whole Cat Slater and Zoe Slater situation. Like, you ain't my mother! And then the cat was like, yes, I am! I mean, to be fair, I think that probably would have been helpful in this scenario, to be honest. I mean, it didn't really suit whatsoever, and it just came out of nowhere. It didn't really make any sense. I mean, they could have just left it at that. So, but James Buckley was actually looking forward to seeing in this episode. He was in the In-Betweeners, and I loved his character, but he didn't do anything in that story. I almost swore, but that's the In-Betweeners for you. But he didn't do anything whatsoever in that story. He was just there with his kid, and even though his kid Silas, who actually did a lot in this story, the dad was just like, go on Silas, and he was with Graham as well, so yeah, that didn't really, and that actually I felt a bit sad because of that. So yeah, so the fourth episode is Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. I enjoyed the story more than I enjoyed Orphan 55, and it was very fun to watch, and it felt like a Russell T Davies era story where or even a Stephen Moffat story, even though it's more of a Russell T Davies story, in my opinion. Like when the Doctor meets like a famous historical figure and they team up to like to defeat the bad guy, and I felt like this is the story was about. I think this is where Doctor Who was like coming into form. I mean, it was very fun to watch, and I thought Nikola Tesla was very well written, and Goran Visnich was an excellent choice to play him. I think he's Croatian just like Nikola Tesla. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was a very good choice. I mean, from what I've known from Goran Visnich, I know he was in EO. I never really watched it when I was a kid. I do intend to getting onto that some point down the line, hopefully when I'm like a lot free and stuff. And he was in another show called The Timeless. It's kind of like Doctor Who, but no, not like Doctor Who. It's like Legends of Tomorrow, except it's set mainly in the except they always go to the past. They don't really go to the future. I haven't really finished season 1, but I really enjoyed that show. I think his character, I think his name is Roman Flynn or something like that. I think his character was probably like the best. I think he's probably the best character in that show. It's a shame it ended so soon, and I wish it did continue, but fair enough. Enough of that. So in on to Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. Robert Glenister, who played Thomas Edison, was amazing. And fun fact, Robert Glenister, he appeared in the case of Androzani. He played Celatine in that story. So to Robert Glenister, he was a very good choice as Thomas Edison, and I really like the whole dynamic between Edison and Tesla, even though they were both like feuding in real life, and then the show really captured that and it was very interesting to watch. And I love the reference to the Silurian blaster. I think even the promotional pictures that was on the Doctor Who Instagram account, I recognized the Silurian gun. I think someone brought it up in the comments and it looked like a Silurian gun, and I thought that the Silurians coming back, even though they weren't, but it would have been nice to see them back. So yeah, she actually. So in terms of who stands out in this story, yeah, I think Yaz probably stands out the most compared to Ryan and Graham. I mean, even though she doesn't really do much, but she still does something. She was with Tesla for most of the episode, most of the story, and I think this is probably the most we've seen Yaz do, even though she doesn't really do much since her tenure in the TARDIS. I mean, even though I did think she was going to do something in Eleven's Demons of the Punjab, even though she was just merely a plot device, and I really didn't like that. Even though I'm not really a big fan of Demons of the Punjab myself, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, so let's just continue with this thing. So Anjali Mohindra, she was amazing as Queen Sikthra, or whatever how name is pronounced, and she was also amazing in the Sarah Jane Adventures, and most, if you follow the show, she actually played Ronnie. and that's the first thing that came to my head. I mean, you're casting someone who's in the Doctor Who spin-off on the main show as a different character. I mean, it is a common case. I mean, there's too many to mention, but this is another one, another edition, and I really enjoyed. I really like that, and she definitely captured the whole creepiness that Sikthra had, and that it just reminded me of the Rasnos, even though people thought the Rasnos was going to come back, even though it wasn't, and she really captured that voice. It was really fun. It was really clever, and I really enjoyed that. Whew. Now to the elephant of the room, the prisoner of the Judoon. Wow, what a story! And I think this is definitely one of the stronger episodes of this series. The Judoon were brilliant here, even though they didn't really do much. They appeared for like the first 10 minutes, and then they kind of disappeared while the main action was going on. They didn't really appear until the end of the story. And of course, we see the return of Captain Jack Harkness, who we haven't seen since Torchwood Miracle Day, which aired in 2011, and the Doctor who we haven't seen since the End of Time Part 2. And he leaves a clue that of the story of this series, it's possible that the lone Cyberman, he was telling Graham, like, tell the Doctor to beware of the lone Cyberman, and I kind of wonder what the lone Cyberman is, and I really can't wait to see Jodie face off against the Cyberman. And the Cybermen are actually my favorite Doctor Who enemies. I think they're better than the Daleks, to be honest, but let's get to that another time. So yeah, I think so. The Cybermen, I think they're going to be playing a major part in the second half of the series, and I can't wait to see that. And I can't wait to see how Jodie's going to come up against the Cybermen, and especially the fact that the Cybermen were pretty much the cause of the 12th Doctor regenerating back in series 10. So I can't wait to see that dynamic and how that's going to go down. So now on to the bigger elephant of the room. Who the hell is Joe Martin's Doctor? That is the twist I did not see coming whatsoever. I mean, when I was watching it, when she said, I am the Doctor, I was like, what in the blue hell? I mean, and after when the episode finished, my head was like, oh my god, who could this Doctor be? Could she be Pre-Hartnell? Could she be an alternate Doctor? Timeless Child? Like, what the hell is going on? Could she be the Valiant? But well, I think the Doctor Who fandom was like, I think they were like scrambling. It just reminds me of that meme with the story suddenly in Philadelphia where Charlie D's character Charlie Kelly was like, when he had this whole map thing. That's what it reminds me of. That was pretty much what was going through my head. Who could this Carol? I mean, sorry. So I actually watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia as well. So who could Ruth's Doctor be? That is very interesting. But I think I'll personally put this as one of the best Doctor Who plot twists ever. I mean, I was quite critical of Chibnall last season, but now I think he's definitely improving, and yeah, I'm really liking the element he's doing. But even though I'm a bit frightened of what he's going to do and what his direction is going to be from that point, but even if he does mess up a bit, I'll still watch Doctor Who and I'll still like it, even if it's going to be Pre-Hartnell or whatever, whoever she is, even if it's unexplained, I'll still watch it. And then I think that's what pretty much a good Doctor Who fan will do. I'm not saying the perfect, but a good Doctor Who fan. I've seen quite a few people who are saying, not my Doctor, this and that, but forget them. I think they don't represent that part of the fandom in my eyes. So here's my 2 cents on who Joe Martin's Doctor could be. I thought she could be in a alternate universe Doctor, which actually makes sense because obviously the whole situation with Gallifrey here, thinking Gallifrey is still there, even though he's not there. But Chris Chibnall did say on an article that she's not an alternate Doctor, but no one really mentioned an alternate Doctor, so it could be something to throw us off. It could be a bit of a red herring, but let's see what's going on. Yeah, but that theory still could stand that she could be an alternate Doctor, but if she was a pre-Hartnell Doctor, then the Doctor would ideally still be on Gallifrey with his family and Susan, and even in the time of the name of the Doctor, we even see the Doctor and Susan choosing a TARDIS and leaving Gallifrey, or Clara choosing a TARDIS for the Doctor and Susan. So that really doesn't really support that claim of Ruth's Doctor being the pre-Hartnell Doctor. There was another theory that I think that there's another popular theory that Ruth could be a Doctor between the second and the third Doctors. And even at the end of the War Games, you don't really see the Doctor regenerate. We just see him like zooming around like no, 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 no. But we don't really see him regenerate. But that's where the season 6B theory comes in. This is where where the Doctor is forced to do the Time Lord's dirty work, and he was forced to join the CIA, the Gallifreyan CIA, not the American CIA. I was doing some work with them. That would explain how the Doctor was like has an updated version of the TARDIS compared to his TARDIS, and how he appears older with Jamie and the two Doctors. But that's another issue I will address later. And how she could be between the second and third Doctors. I did come up with this theory a few days ago where, let's see, the Time Lords, that they're all powerful and stuff. They would I think they do have the power to take away regeneration or steal a regeneration and make that regeneration like a sole entity, just like how we saw the Meta Crisis Doctor in Journey's End. So Ruth is pretty much a similar Doctor to that extent, where she still has 1 and 2's memories except of her own personalities and stuff. So that's why she'll think Gallifrey is still there and is not destroyed. And not sure about Gat's character, how she will come into play with this, but I do think it does belong somewhere along those lines. So it will probably mess up with the whole Doctor's regeneration cycle. But here's a saving grace: when the third Doctor's exile from Earth was lifted in the 3 Doctors, they decided to give him his regeneration, an extra regeneration, even though Ruth is still out there somewhere. But the Doctor in this context is still regenerating. Yes, another aspect is that this Doctor, not Ruth's Doctor, she doesn't know. The Doctor doesn't really have any memories. Its regeneration could be gone. I don't even know, thanks to the Time Lords. But then the Time Lords, other than lifting his exile, they decided to give him an extra regeneration cycle, so that will somehow keep the series going on. But it's a very interesting concept. But yeah. Okay, so speaking of Gat, and also supports the alternate universe theory, that I think Gat as well, she might think that Gallifrey is still there, even though the Doctor who's seen with her eyes that Gallifrey is destroyed by the hand of the Master. And I think that's why, and when the Master told her that everything is a lie, I think somewhere along those lines it might be somewhere like that. So I bet Joe's Doctor and Gat didn't really have a time away in their alternate universe. So Gallifrey, as they know, it's alright and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how they could think that Gallifrey is still there and there could be an alternate universe Doctor. But there's a chance that Ruth's Doctor might be the Timeless Child. I mean, the Timeless Child could be like some sort of Gallifreyan. I guess the Timeless Child could be like the devil in Gallifrey or something, who's just taking kind of like the first evil in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like how the first evil will take different forms and stuff, even though in the inside it's just one horrible creature. I guess it could be something like that. I think the Timeless Child could be something like that in some sort of extent. It's just taking lives, and just changing forms and stuff. So, but it could be some sort of nickname for Ruth's Doctor. She could be like a renegade Time Lord who probably stole the Doctor's identity and his memories and stuff. So it could really happen like that. So, but I'm actually hoping Chibnall doesn't really mess this up. Whew. I'm tired of my voice already. Thank you for watching this video. Tell me what you thought of season 12, series 12 so far, and your favorite story of season 12 so far, and your thoughts on who Joe Martin's Doctor could be. It's a very interesting concept. So my next video is going to be my review of the Myth Makers. I'm currently rewatching that, and once I'm done rewatching that, I'll take my notes and type up what I want to say, and I'll film it, and you'll be on YouTube as soon as possible. So this is Ollie. See you later, guys.